Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for part 2 of the Q&A, so let's go ahead and get this started. All right, first question. Are you a novice until you hit certain numbers on your big lifts, bench, squat, deadlift? Um, Man, my opinion has changed back and forth on this a little bit over the years. I used to actually say that was the case, but the more I look at it, I realize it's not always true. Because a lot of people really piss away their noob gains. And if you really just piss away your noob gains, to be honest, you might not be able to run a novice program anymore. So really, why do we even define these things? Novice, intermediate, advanced, so on. We define them so that you know how to train. You need to know what sort of programs and progressions and everything to use. So here's the issue. If you pissed away your noob gains and you didn't bulk and you stayed skinny and underweight and you pissed off and didn't do a lot of squatting and other stuff, right? And you still didn't reach either a novice strength standard or even muscle mass, I do know coaches and experts out there who've said in their experience, I've heard them over the years, that you kind of missed that. You missed your window. That's it. That's it. You messed up. And so now you're going to have to train like an intermediate even to finish out your noob gains. And I'm going to be honest, I've noticed that in clients. In other words, if you have a guy who's still skinny because he didn't bulk, and he still didn't even put on that first 15 pounds, 20 pounds of muscle he should have put on, and he still benches 135, one plate aside for 5, struggling to hit a 2-plate squat, guess what? He missed his window for his noob gains. I find that you can't give them novice type programming. They can't handle it. You have to take them to early intermediate programming, and you have to make them eat. That's been my experience. So yes, you are technically, in that case, you are no longer a novice for training or programming purposes, but you still might be way, way, way below where you should have been at the end of your first year. And now you'll just have to accept a little slower gains on, intermediate type programming, and you're just going to have to put in more years because of it. And it really is that simple. Been my experience. The longer I look at it, this has become a more nuanced topic. And again, I would say the old viewpoint holds true. If someone trained hard from day one, decent programming, decently hard work, and they ate, this would actually hold true. But if they messed up those things, then no, they kind of missed their novice window for the most part, and you can't get it back. So you just have to live with that. You have to live with your mistakes in life and move forward. They can still get the gains. It's just going to take them longer now. All right, next question. How strong do untrained numbers correlate with advanced numbers? Now that is a fascinating question. If I were to say overall, I don't know that they correlated at all. In other words, what is untrained? Because there's two problems with this. Are we talking about crazy genetic potential, or are we talking about epigenetics and lifestyle before going into the gym? Okay, the whole epigenetic thing is fascinating. I made a video on that many years ago discussing that it seems like as far as gaining muscle and things overall, some people have the epigenetics active earlier, just automatically in life, either due to environmental factors or genetic factors, that it takes other people several years of training for those switches to flip on. But even if their total potential is the same. So in the case of that, the person early on, if it's an epigenetic factor, sorry, I'm going to nerd out on you guys a little bit. If it's an epigenetic factor, then they're going to start stronger, they're going to make more gains early, and then they're going to cap out sooner. Whereas in the other person, will catch them eventually, if it's purely about epigenetics. If it's lifestyle, you're going to see, not a real big difference. In other words, they're just going to get to the end a little bit faster, but they're still going to slow very quickly. So if it's lifestyle, it's because it's like, what do we mean untrained? Is untrained someone who's done nothing but played video games and ate Hot Pockets and gets up off the couch maybe to go to work or to take a shit? Or is untrained someone who works in construction? Someone who works doing mechanic work, someone who does ranch work, farm work. Well, which of these is untrained? Because there's going to be one hell of a big difference. Now, me personally, it's probably a combination of genetics and other stuff. I've always been a strong squatter. I had a squat some of you guys would kill for after a year in the gym, that you would kill for, that I walked in and when I was taught how to squat, I had my first time. I could squat 225 untrained. I was taught how to squat. We got under the barbell and I squatted 225. It only took me about a year to get to 405. And you guys have seen me squat 600 as an old man. The average person, and let's be honest, the average person doesn't have the genetics to probably ever squat 600. So is there a genetic factor there? Probably, in my case, yeah. But was there environmental factors also? I was doing ranch work at the time. I was working on my family ranch. And this, had picked up running to lose weight, was distance running, and then I started lifting. So it's hard to say. It's really hard to say. I don't think you can say for sure. All right, next question and last question of the week. JM press or floor press to improve lockout / tricep strength for the bench press? You asked multiple questions. Tricep strength and lockout strength on the bench press are not always the same thing. Okay. Your triceps are not the only muscle or muscle weakness involved with lockout. A tricep weakness can also mess you up right off the chest as well, for the unaware. So let's answer the question in a little more detail. This is an easy one though. For both, JM press, hands down. Hands down. This isn't even close. First of all, the floor press for a lot of people doesn't do anything for your lockout. This is not a lockout fix. If you're a guy with no chest and no back, maybe, because it's a partial. But for anyone who's built any size, it's not really a partial, is it? It's starting at your chest, an inch, 2-3 inches off your chest. This is not a lockout exercise. Closed grip benching crushes floor press for improving your lockout by a mile. They're not even comparable. Like if you want to improve your bench lockout and you go floor press versus closed grip, floor press shouldn't even be on your radar. But if you're going to talk about smaller movements, JM press. JM press works triceps harder. It works triceps harder. So if you're talking about tricep strength, well, the JM press is better than the floor press. Clearly. Here's your problem though. Which one can you train longer? For overall strength, well, the floor press is better because you can train it longer without having inflammation problems, without getting beat up. JM press isn't an exercise you can do every week for months and months and months on end. Some people can, the majority can't. It starts chewing up your elbows. So that's part of the issue here. It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe your answer here is the closed grip bench and occasionally working in your other tricep work like the JM press. Or maybe palms in dumbbell presses, things like that. That might be the better answer. I mean, JM press works, absolutely works. Just be aware it's not an exercise you can sustain hard progression on. It's got to be rotated out. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.